Welcome, Age of Vintage Society. Brigitte Bardot is a French model and actress who graced the cover of Elle magazine as a teen and went on to star in several films before being featured in 1956's And God Created Woman, which launched her to international fame. She appeared in dozens of films over her career, including Contempt and Viva Maria, and retired from acting in the 1970s. How Brigitte Bardot liberated women's society. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. With great beauty comes great controversy, as is the case with Brigitte Bardot. In her 1959 essay, The Lolita Syndrome, feminist philosopher Simone de Beauvoir referred to Brigitte Bardot as the locomotive of women's history. Not unlike existentialism, Bardot's success interrupted traditional ideas of what French post-war life could be for women. Bardot is remembered as the first liberated woman represented in pop culture in post-World War II France. Bardot was the darling of disaffected French leftists, to whom she symbolised an artless disregard for conventional morality. Brigitte Anne-Marie Bardot was born on September 28, 1934 in Paris, France. She studied ballet as a teenager at the National Superior Conservatory of Paris for Music and Dance, and appeared on the cover of France's Elle magazine at the age of 15. Her privilege was often dampened by her parents' conservative moral routine. Bardot wasn't allowed to choose her own friends and had to refer to her parents in the formal French vous as opposed to the familial tu. She was discovered by screenwriter and future filmmaker Roger Vadim, and the two wed in 1952. Bardot's conservative parents were vehemently against her becoming an actress. Ballet and modelling were okay, but acting? It wasn't a respectable profession for their class. It was Bardot's grandfather who convinced them to support her efforts. Did you know that at the age of just 15, Bob Dylan used Brigitte Bardot as the inspiration for his first original song? The Beatles were big fans of Brigitte Bardot. There were even plans to have her star in A Hard Day's Night, although it never worked out. Nevertheless, their collective crush on the French actress made an impact on their love lives. George Harrison liked to compare his wife to Bardot, and John Lennon's wife dyed her own hair to better resemble the blonde symbol. John Lennon was incredibly nervous about meeting his long-time celebrity crush, Brigitte Bardot. According to his biography, he took LSD just to calm his nerves. Unfortunately, neither Bardot nor Lennon lived up to the celebrity image in each other's mind. To quote Lennon, "I was on acid, and she was on her way out." Bardot began her modelling career in 1949, landing the cover of Elle magazine when she was just 15 years old. It was on this cover that she was discovered by director Marc Allegret, who offered her a role in Les Lauriers sans coupe. Bardot didn't get the role in Marc Allegret's film, but she did find her future husband. At the failed audition, the young Bardot fell instantly in love with Roger Vadim. Ironically, Vadim was there to inform her that she did not get the part. On her first big movie, she had an affair. Vadim did eventually marry her, but I guess no one told young Brigitte the rules. On the set of one of her first movies, and Vadim's first movie as director, she fell in love with the leading man and began an affair. When Vadim proposed, her father threatened him with a gun. A bit of a hasty reaction, but Brigitte's was even hastier. After the incident, she stuck her head in a gas oven and almost died. Her father then agreed to let them get married, but not until she was 18. In 1973, Bardot produced her last joint effort with her husband, Roger Vadim. She plays a Don Juan-esque woman who recounts her murderous exploits in the subtly titled Don Juan, or If Don Juan Were a Woman. According to Vadim, this film was about deconstructing the cultural myth of his ex, although he put it in crude terms. Underneath what people call the Bardot myth was something interesting, even though she was never considered the most professional actress in the world. Brigitte always gave the impression of freedom. She is a completely open and free person, without any aggression. So I gave her the part of a man that amused me. Hollywood called, she said non. After she recovered and accepted her celebrity, she continued making movies, including some French New Wave. Hollywood wanted her more, and eventually they agreed to her terms and filmed a cameo for a movie called Dear Brigitte. While both were still married to other people, Bardot dated her and God Created Men co-star Jean-Louis Trintignant for 2 years. Unfortunately, the relationship barely lasted a year after her divorce from Roger Vadim. What got in the way this time? Trintignant's military service and Bardot's other love affair with the musician Gilbert Bécaud. 1958 was a tough year for Brigitte Bardot. Her divorce from Roger Vadim was quickly followed up by a breakup with her side piece of 2 years, Jean-Louis Trintignant. The double loss led to rumours of a nervous breakdown and attempted suicide, although this was denied by her public relations team. She had a child, but she didn't want it. Many slated her for having no maternal instincts and leaving the baby to the father. But c'est la vie. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. She tried to reach out to her son later in life, but he refused. Bardot had a strained relationship with her only son, Nicolas Jacques Charrier. For one, he was conceived well before she married his father, actor Jacques Charrier, in June 1959. Bardot and Charrier divorced less than 3 years later in 1962, after which Nicolas was raised by his father's family. Bardot and her only child would have almost no relationship until he was an adult. Bardot has been romantically attached to singer Sergei Gainsbourg, writer John Gilmore, and actor Warren Beatty. She also dated Laurent Verger, her co-star in Don Juan, or If Don Juan Were a Woman, which was directed by her first ex-husband. We can't say she casts a wide net. In 1966, Bardot married her third husband, the German millionaire playboy Gunter Sachs, who was heir to one of Germany's biggest automobile suppliers. The industrialist gave Bardot a Hollywood courtship, flying over her French home via helicopter and dropping dozens of roses onto her property. Sweet, but maybe it wasn't worth the clean-up. Bardot and Sachs divorced just 3 years later in 1969. Bardot's current and fourth husband is a notorious name in right-wing politics. He is none other than Bernard Dormeuil, former advisor to Jean-Marie Le Pen, aka the former leader of France's far-right party, National Front. She found Mr. Right. According to Bardot, her father forever treated her and her sister as strangers after the two broke his favourite vase. For their accident, each sister received 20 lashes. This incident forever changed the course of her parental relationship and is cited as the cause of Bardot's rebellious streak. In 1973, just before her 40th birthday, Bardot announced her retirement. After appearing in more than 50 motion pictures and recording several music albums, most notably with Sergei Gainsbourg, she chose to use her fame to promote animal rights. An outspoken animal rights activist, she established an animal welfare organisation, the Foundation Brigitte Bardot. Bardot's status as a global icon of beauty has continued to be celebrated by a number of art and fashion institutions. However, she has also courted controversy. Her work has led to the Council of Europe banning the importation of seal fur, and the French government banning ivory imports. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new here, and if you want to support my work, please visit my Patreon page. Now it is your turn. What do you think about Brigitte Bardot's life and legacy?